Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today, we're exploring a really fascinating framework. It's designed to help you unlock that potential that, well, resides within all of us.
Right.
Our mission, really, is to give you a kind of roadmap, a way out of suffering and into a genuinely transformed life,
Yeah.
shifting from just personality to, well, spiritual reality.
Exactly. We're diving into the paradigm process.
Yeah.
And it's built on a really impressive foundation.
It's not just theory, then.
No, not at all. This comes from over 50,000 mindfulness studies, believe it or not, 500,000 scholarly papers,
Wow.
and 15 years of original research from the creators. It weaves together, ancient wisdom.
Like Aristotle, Einstein, that kind of thing?
Yeah, Socrates too, and then brings in modern thought leaders, people like Dr. Joe Dispenza, Deepak Chopra.
Dr. Andrew Huberman gets mentioned too,
That's
right?
right. And the effects, the actual effects of the contemplative practices in this, they've been documented by places like Yale, Harvard, Stanford.
So these aren't just claims. There's some backing there. Okay, so what we're offering you today isn't just like an overview. It's more of a practical guide, a roadmap.
Yeah, a way to move past those blocks,
Yeah.
the mental, emotional ones that keep us stuck.
Aiming for real healing, continuous growth.
And accessing what the sources call a limitless reservoir of possibilities.
Yeah.
It's basically a conscious shift, moving from fear.
To love. Got it. So if we're talking transformation, where does this usually kick off? The sources seem to point towards our personality, right? And these things called ego insurgents.
Yes, that's the core challenge. A lot of our life, maybe more than we realize, is run by the survival mind.
That primitive bit, the lizard brain.
Exactly. It affects so many choices, thoughts, feelings, how we see everything, really.
And the personality itself, well, it maybe helped us survive early on.
That's the paradox, yeah.
Yeah.
It served a purpose, kept us safe, maybe. But over time, it can actually start to, well, the source says, throttle and choke us out.
So what helped us adapt becomes rigid.
Precisely. It becomes this unconscious pattern, limiting growth instead of helping it. It stops focusing on real self-love and starts needing control.
Like that idea of being born in truth but grow up believing in lies. We build these personas, masks, really.
Often out of fear, yeah, to get by.
And change feels uncomfortable, sure, but the argument here is that staying stuck, that eventually hurts way more.
Absolutely. And within that, we meet the master insurgents: fear, drama, and distrust.
Okay, so these aren't like outside forces, they're internal patterns.
Deeply ingrained ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Like default settings in the mind. They're not just feelings, they're habits of perceiving and reacting, often leading to, well, needless suffering.
The guardians of your mind's galaxy, as they put it, keeping you safe but small.
That's a good way to think about it. Familiar but limiting.
And from these big three, we get the 10 faces of fear, specific ego insurgents.
Right. Distinct patterns that block growth. But the good news is, by seeing them, we find the 10 pathways out of suffering.
And the key idea is they're real but not true. What does that mean exactly?
It means they feel very real, the fear, the distrust. They have real effects. But they aren't the ultimate truth of who you are. So we're not trying to, destroy them.
More shift our relationship with them, move beyond those limits.
Exactly. Towards something more expansive.
Okay, so understanding these insurgents is step one, but how do we actually, deal with them? That's where the paradigm process comes in.
That's where it really shines, yeah. It's called a scientific revolution of the self, designed specifically to move you from just surviving
To actually thriving.
Yes.
And a big part of this, something I found really fascinating, is contemplative intelligence. CQ.
Ah, yes. See,
It's not IQ or EQ, right? It's described as something that can actually alter your brain chemistry. How does that work?
Well, what's really groundbreaking about CQ is how it guides the brain. It helps shift activity away from the limbic system.
The survival emotional reactivity part.
Exactly. And moves it towards the prefrontal cortex.
Okay.
That's where creativity, wisdom, your real potential lies.
So it's a higher intelligence in that sense.
Kind of, yeah. Because it helps you self-regulate your own system, your perception. So you can see reality more clearly, less distorted by, old fears or biases.
So practically speaking, doing these daily cognitive centering practices, it's not just about feeling calmer, it actually changes brain function.
It can, yes. It shifts you from that tight, constricted, reactive state.
To more openness, more possibility.
That's the goal. Unlocking possibilities.
Which leads us nicely into navigating these pathways out. It's about letting go, but also recovering something.
Yes, letting go and recovering.
Yeah.
The sources use this really potent metaphor of the dragon.
Okay.
It's about confronting the venom and toxins birthed from the festering wounds of our shadow selves. Sounds intense, I know.
Yeah, a bit. So are we slaying this dragon?
See, that's the twist. It's a total shift. You don't slay the fears.
Really?
You engage them with the fierce power of love. You embrace them, actually. Transform them into strength.
Like taming the dragon, maybe? Like in some versions of the St. George story?
Exactly like that. Or, the Buddhist story of the Buddha inviting Mara temptation itself for tea. Acknowledging it, but not letting it rule.
Integration, not elimination. I like that.
Precisely. So let's look at a specific pathway. How about letting go of the controller and recovering self-love?
Okay, the controller. That need to manage everything.
Yeah, and the source says it's rooted in a deep fear of uncertainty, which shows up as being really defensive, anxious, feeling powerless, ironically.
That bit about seeking control over others when we feel powerless ourselves, that really hit home.
It's a powerful insight, isn't it?
Yeah.
As long as we believe we are powerless to shape our own lives, we will continue to seek control over the lives of others. You see it everywhere.
So how do we recover? What's the antidote?
Well, the recovery is realizing love is an inside job. True self-love. That's the key.
Turning inward.
Because perfect love casts out fear. When you cultivate that deep self-love, you stop needing validation from outside. You build your own inner compass of trust.
Okay, so letting go of control leads to self-love. What about the next one? The neurotic persona, that constant worrying.
Ah, yes. The pathway is recovering surrender, which sounds counterintuitive, maybe.
A little, yeah. Surrender sounds like giving up.
But it's not defeat here. The challenge with the neurotic is it's always preparing for an existential crisis around the next corner, always bracing, which creates this background hum of powerlessness.
Yeah, and these traits, they often come from childhood coping things.
Often, yeah. An overuse of strategies rooted in fear, like the need for affection and approval or being a perfectionist insurgent, trying to manage discomfort, but it backfires.
So surrender, how is it a gentle power?
It allows a new feeling to emerge.
Right.
Safety, maybe certainty, love, autonomy. And honestly, scientifically, when you look at the universe...
We control very little, right?
Exactly. Very little that is actually in our control. There's a kind of profound wisdom in accepting that the world doesn't just bend to my will or yours.
Finding peace in that acceptance. Okay, and the last one we'll spotlight, anxiety.
Right. Letting go of the anxious and recovering courage. The anxious insurgent is like a hypervigilant alarm system, rooted in that survival brain we mentioned.
Constantly scanning for danger, seeing threats everywhere.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Even in safe situations. It leads to excessive overthinking, worrying about future disasters.
Dueling you out of the present moment.
Completely. And the source notes, it's often easier to panic over imagined future threats than confronting difficult, present emotions.
Avoidance, basically. So the recovery is courage.
Yes, but not meaning no fear. It's the unwavering willingness to take action and move forward in spite of fear.
So healing anxiety isn't just about making it stop.
No, it's an ongoing journey. It takes courage to face those inner shadows, those vulnerabilities. The real goal is healing it at its core, understanding the message underneath it.
Okay, so we have these pathways. How do we walk them? What are the tools?
Great question. The paradigm process offers some really practical tools. Let's start with loving inquiry. It's a core daily practice for healing.
Loving inquiry sounds intriguing. What makes it work?
It's really about interrupting those automatic habitual thoughts. That's the genius of it. There's this step called the contemplative pause.
Taking 3 seconds.
Yeah, just 3 seconds. But in that micro moment, you create space. You choose a conscious response instead of just reacting. You're literally forging a new neural pathway. That's the power.
Okay, walk us through the steps briefly.
Sure. 1, self-awareness, noticing the stress, the fear, knowing something needs attention.
Okay.
2, self-discipline, that contemplative pause, asking, is this thought absolutely 100% true?
Challenging it directly.
Yes. 3, self-inquiry, asking what happens if I do think or feel or act this way, looking at the consequences.
Right.
4, self-connection, remembering your deeper values, what really matters. 5, self-reflection, examining judgments, especially harsh ones of yourself or others. And finally, 6, self-love, choosing compassion, reclaiming your power from others' opinions. And they really stress writing it down. The pen is mightier than the sword for this inner work.
Writing helps make it concrete. I like that. What other tools are there? You mentioned a skyscraper.
Ah, yes. The skyscraper of consciousness. It's a tangible model for growth. Imagine starting on the ground floor. That's the survival zone.
Limited perspective, dominated by fear, anger, shame, that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Primal instincts.
Hmm.
And they actually quantify these states with joules representing the energy frequency of your consciousness.
So survival zone is low frequency, like 100, 200 joules.
Right. Low frequency through a constricted energy. And when you're there, the source talks about F9 responses kicking in.
F9, what's that?
Fight, flight, freeze. But also fawn, flop, faint. Those primal automatic survival reactions, they fire off even when there's no real physical threat.
Okay, so you start on the ground floor, then you ascend.
Yeah, you move up. Through the reactive zone, maybe 300, 400 joules. You start questioning things. Then the awakening and empowerment zone, around 500 joules. That's where you really tackle limiting beliefs. Face your shadow.
And the higher floors.
The transcendent zone, 900 to 1,000 joules. Pure consciousness, basically. Radiating joy, compassion, wisdom.
So how do you use this model? Just figure out your floor.
That's the start. Identify your floor, yeah. Then embrace the discomfort of moving up. List the benefits of changing. Get support. Let go of the past. Visualize yourself climbing. It's an ongoing process.
Makes sense. And then there's heart-brain coherence, how thoughts become things.
Yes. This is fascinating. It shows how thoughts become things and feelings become facts. We know the heart has a powerful electromagnetic field, right? Extends out several feet.
Yeah, I've heard that.
But the revolutionary part isn't just the field itself. It's the direct, measurable impact that field, driven by your emotions, has on your brain function.
So positive emotions from the heart literally make your brain work better.
Exactly. It's not just woo-woo. It enhances decision-making, boosts your immune system. Feeling good makes you smarter and healthier, essentially.
Which connects to this idea of becoming extrasensory, accessing 5D reality. What's that about?
It's about going beyond just the 5 physical senses: sight, sound, taste, touch, smell.
Tapping into intuition, imagination.
Yes. The source talks about the 7x eyes faculties of this extrasensory self.
7 eyes. Okay.
Intention, intuition, imagination, insight, intellect, specifically CQ here, inspiration, and innovation. These are your tools for accessing this expanded awareness.
And this 5D realm, it's beyond space and time.
Described that way, yeah. A boundless domain, where shifting your perception, say from lack to prosperity, can actually start to manifest different experiences.
It's a deep concept. And the source also uses Pinocchio as a metaphor.
Yeah, the unfurling of the real. Pinocchio's journey is seen as an awakening, a slow unfolding of consciousness, moving from being a puppet
to living your truth.
Exactly. It emphasizes listening to that still small voice, your conscience, and choosing love over self-preservation, especially in those really tough times, the belly of the whale moments.
And underlying all this is the idea that life is full of paradoxes.
Constantly. And embracing them, not fighting them, is crucial for transformation.
Okay, so as we kind of bring this deep dive towards a close, what's the ultimate point of this journey, according to the paradigm process?
It really comes down to unveiling the divine within, returning to your sacred self.
So it's not about becoming someone totally different.
Not really, no. It's more about stripping away the layers, the conditioning, the fear, the learned stuff, the inauthentic persona, they call it.
To reveal what's always been there underneath.
Your inherent wisdom, peace, potential, your authentic, powerful, loving core.
And love is the key thread running through it all.
Absolutely. Perfect love casts out fear. The whole process is about consciously choosing love moment by moment. That's what unlocks your true self.
And it's important to remember you're not doing this in isolation, right?
Definitely not. The source reminds us there are billions of souls on this planet today, each embarking on their own unique journey of transformation towards their sacred self alongside you.
There's a collective element to it.
And the core message is really empowering. You are inherently destined to thrive, to love with a profound emotional awareness, and to create something beautiful in the world.
That's a powerful affirmation. Now, before we finish, we should include the standard health disclaimer.
Right. Just a reminder that this deep dive is for universal information discussing health, addiction, personal growth.
But it's definitely not intended to replace any medical or clinical help.
Absolutely. Always talk to your doctor before starting any new program.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. from the survival mind and ego insurgence.
To the paradigm process, CQ, the pathways of self-love, surrender, courage.
And tools like loving inquiry, the skyscraper model. It's really a journey from fear to love, from that limited personality to the sacred self.
Exactly.
So maybe a question for you listening. Where might you be on your own skyscraper of consciousness right now? What mask, what ego insurgent might you feel ready to gently let go of today?
Yeah, just something to consider. And maybe one final thought to leave you with. This one's from Carl Jung. Problems are insoluble. They can only be outgrown.
Outgrown, not solved.
Right. So think about it. What problem in your life are you maybe trying so hard to solve, when perhaps what you really need is to outgrow it? By transforming your perception, by embracing this science of finding your spiritual self, something to mull over.